this is Gosifly. Here we are on Minevale again, and I still have to get a lot of materials for a little project. I wanted to show you how I'm planning buildings like that. So, as I mentioned earlier, I'm not the most experienced guy in terms of building. I mean, I've built stuff for some time, but I used to do very simple designs and small and flat and one block only. This is like a little schematic. I intend to build a medieval style house, and you can see I use different blocks to basically get an idea of what components and what dimensions I'm using for this house. So this is basically the first step out of, let's say, 4 or 5 steps to build a house like that. I can also use this getup and I can count the distances to train or to do something offline, but I can do the same thing here on that server. So you can see those red mushrooms parts that I put in here. These are doors. So this is the entrance area. Here's a little bit of a there will be like a little entrance area that I will design. Here's another door to a bigger room, and all these white areas, this is calcite, I think. And I use terracotta blocks for the other wall parts, so everything in terracotta will be walls, and there will be a wooden framework around it, and those white marked areas will be windows in the future. So not exactly on the ground, but then I know where I will put everything, and it also helps me to plan, maybe make it bigger or smaller and everything. So my plan is to get a very pointed kind of a roof. Usually I have like a very not so steep slope, and this time it will be very steep. So the details you will see later in other videos, but this is how you can plan a building like that. And I started farming a couple of things. I think here's the terracotta, for example, which is just for another project of mine, because these terracotta blocks that look like that, and they are just named terracotta and no color in it, you can actually dye those any color you want, but those colors don't look similar to the wool colors, for example, if you have colored wool. I will probably make a video on dyeing and inks and different effects like that in a video, but for now, let's just say, for example, this is inspired by a video that I watched, or let's say like 3 or 4 videos that I watched, because I had something in my mind and I couldn't just grasp exactly how to do it. They use a very different kind of wood and different kind of tiles and everything, and the walls that I'm going to use, but I will also put up like 3 different little designs next to this house just to check the colors. For example, here's the cherry tree, a bark on the outside, which has a very nice color, and it's different during daylight versus at night. And then I will put in between, I will put in the walls the basic blocks that I'm using, not everything that I use for designing it. This will be much later, but like, for example, a gray stone block, for example, or a brick wall or whatever. And then I will use other wood or a different kind of wall, and then the same kind of wood. I will mix different combinations to make a choice, right? So I will decide for a combination that I like, and very nice. So there was a whoopsie with the server, but now I'm back. There will be a contrast between the wood that I'm using. So in this case, the wood is darker. Now during daylight it seems to be a little bit more lighter than before, of course, but in contrast to that, my wall will be much lighter, for example gray or light gray. Yeah, we will use this design to, and we can also change that anytime we want, but this is actually what I'm planning to do. And alongside my my little building trip, we will also have a lot of opportunities to change. So everything in Minecraft can be planned, but also I'm getting spontaneous ideas. I'm getting like I don't like something, or I feel like I have to do it more steep. I have to have higher walls. I want to have a second floor. Let's have a look. There will be many things that we might change along the way, but the basic plan is about this size. Okay. Later on we can design the garden. So in this case, I put the building in a spot that we still can walk around. This water might move, but there can be flowers and other stuff around here, and there will be also fences or walls in the future that will look much different from what you see right now around the house. So I'm looking forward to build this house with you guys, and I will show you my brick and wood combinations in this spot right now. Ta-da! And this is how it looks like when you have built up this little testing ground. So here I have different barks or wood combinations, and I've put in some gray stone materials that I consider, and then we will change it to something similar to something over here. Now I will change this back. This is the cherry tree wood that I have used to make my little schematic over here, and I am intending to probably use this. What I can say from the get-go is I'm looking for a high contrast. So this has a high contrast, this has a high contrast. So I'm talking about the wood versus these stone materials in general. And then we will talk first not about the morphology of these stones or their individual structure, but more about the color first, and then more in detail. What I can say from the get-go is this grayish wood, this acacia tree, it doesn't work for me because the contrast is not big enough. So if we use something much darker than this, for example blackstone, this is deep slate in this case, this is adenosite, and this is a stone brick wall, for those three materials that I kind of consider as a first impression, it doesn't work. So let's go to the cherry tree. What I can say here is the contrast is very high, but this has too less structure for me. There's too less going on. So this would be like a block that I can use to fill in some parts of the wall later when we choose a different material, but I will go into that, why I do that later. This is to freshen up the wall a little bit, to not have just one structure everywhere. On the other hand, the steep slate looks pretty good, so the dark matches very well with the wood in my opinion. The gray brick works as well, but it doesn't work as good for me as the deep slate for now. And then we also have those polished stone blocks, and they don't really so they have an advantage over other ones. So for example, if I put in stone, for example, as a comparison, similar to the adenosite, it doesn't do it for me. If you have a wall only consisting of this, if you look at the bigger picture, it doesn't work for me. So brick is much better, and this is also nice in a way. It has less structure compared to the brick, but it at least has those frames. It looks like tiles and those dotted structures on it. So cherry tree deep slate is the one for me right now, but we will come back to that later and look at more variations. So this is I think this is the spruce, and this is the, yeah, so this is spruce wood, and here we have similar combinations. Break boost activate. Okay. so we have the same stone materials and a different tree. This has the same getup almost. I like the brick, stone brick a little bit more than this, for example. In the case of this wood, this is dark oak. Dark oak, I think the deep slate works good for me too. So the spruce wood and the dark oak wood have a very similar structure on them, but the color is different. In the dark right now, so you have to consider 3 different light settings: daylight, night, and different light sources. You see, so so now this looks much lighter. It's freshened up. This looks way too light. Now the contrast doesn't look as good for me as in the dark, so this is better for the light setting. So deep slate still gives me the better impression. In this case, I don't know why. This is a little bit lighter wood for the dark oak somehow, except for the inside. The spruce somehow works better for me with the stone brick. But if you look at the jungle tree, the jungle logs over here, so the jungle bark, basically the color, it doesn't do it for me, so the colors don't match. So I don't consider this one. As well as, so this is also a fail for me, so this doesn't work. So I'm in between the cherry tree right now and the deep slate, and the dark oak and the deep slate. But let's look at some more variations. So right now, this cobbled deep slate is too, I wouldn't say boring, but there's something missing for me. So let's have a look at 2 different kinds of blocks. I'm just wondering right now, I hope the server works well for us right now. So this is tiles. So these are deep slate tiles. And we also have the bricks. So these are deep slate bricks. So I really like the darker color of those 2 blocks versus the cobbled deep slate, and I like that there's a structure in it. So the bricks look pretty okay, but right now the cherry tree works better for me with the tiles. Let's have a look at the dark oak. By the way, you can always write down your opinion in the comment section and let me know what you think. Maybe I'm totally wrong, maybe you have a different taste. Also, whatever we decide right now, whatever we start with, might not be the end version, okay? So, in this case, I like the brick a little bit more, but the tiles work well for me too. Let's have a look at the spruce wood, which is very similar. So the sun is coming back, it's daylight setting very soon. So let's do the tiles and the bricks as well. So, okay, this has a more reddish brown, a little bit deeper brown. This is a little bit lighter brown. Based on the bark color, the spruce is darker than the dark oak, but here I don't really like the tiles. I like the tiles with that one. So I'm in between tiles and dark oak and tiles and cherry wood for now. Those combinations we can also try with the darker wood just to get a complete picture. Okay. So also we have these chiseled blocks, but if you look at them, so something like this looks like a wall, right? But if you have a whole area full of those, I don't think it works. So this could be a column of some kind or a background, and then the foreground is this wall, or this is the bigger part of the wall. So, oh, the booster, that was why. Okay, this was a silver white booster. So let's go back to what I intended to do. Polished stone, polished adenosite in this case. So this looks okay. This doesn't work. I mean, right now it looks good, but if you imagine a whole area of this, no. So I'm still for the tiles and the dark oak. In this case, let's do, what did we have here? The normal stone, the usual stone. There we go. Okay, so the stone doesn't give us much of a structure. I mean, if you have one wall like this with a little bit of a improvised areas, for example, you can use a stair to make a deep impact into the wall and give it some structure that not only looks like this. That could work too, but I'm still for the tiles. Okay, so right now I would prefer to try this because it's a little bit more crazy. So many people wouldn't choose this reddish wood, especially during the daylight, over the dark wood, but I want to try it first. But I will also show you another thing that we have to consider, and maybe that will change the whole thing later on. Here I prepared a little setting, and right now I will just put in the wood everywhere. Give me a second. Okay, so the standard wood that many people use is oak. Okay, so why am I doing this? I might have to give you a little bit of a sketch, and then you will be able to understand what I'm doing over here. So basically you have a lower area in the roof. So I don't want to do one material, I want to do two materials. There's like a frame out of this material, for example. There are different materials that we will try again, and the wooden material. So this will be stairs, slabs, and those full bricks, basically, full blocks. So what does a roof look like? This is not exactly the design that I will choose, but let's say a roof looks like something like this. Okay. And then you have this area here too. Just pick up the dirt. So what I'm intending to do is basically have... Oh, I can't do that. Okay. So imagine this to be just a slab, for example. But this will be no stairs as well. But for example, you can imagine this to be the wood material. So this will be the roof. Okay. So I'm choosing this material and that material right now, which I put into a setting like this. So this is oak. It's a little bit too light for me. It's a little boring, but we have to see what other combinations we can do. But even with this dark cobbled deep slate version, the oak doesn't really work for me. So let's get rid of the oak and try different kinds of wood. But I will leave the oak over here for now, and we will have a look at different... you can see this has a little bit darker reddish brownish color, and it looks better in my opinion already. So now this was jungle, this is oak. Let's do the spruce. Spruce looks even better than that. So I find the combination of the spruce with the cobblestone the best out of the three so far. And now let's replace the oak with the dark oak. This has a much better contrast. I like that. So if we look at this here for now, we can still change our mind. Nothing is fixed. And as I said earlier, this is just a starting point. It will look like this. Okay. But now let's have a look at the deep slate version of the cobblestone, and then we pick what we find best so far. I'll put in the dark oak for now. So I don't want to use the cherry tree wood, even if I do the framework out of the cherry tree bark. I don't want to have the pink roof right now. Maybe this is a deal breaker later on. We will see. And then we will replace those with the dark oak or the spruce dogs. But for now I want to start with the cherry trees. Some food. So out of those, there's two less contrast in these two, and I'm not a big fan of tiles as is lower material, so I would prefer cobblestone so far. And the bricks, I don't also imagine. I mean, it's possible for the lower part of the roof, but I would like to try this first, this combination. Okay, so like this, then. So this is my decision for the start. Let me know what you think. Maybe you like a different variation. I also have this more orange looking wood. We can just have a look at this right now. Let's have a look. It's not too bad, but it doesn't really match with the rest of our choices. So I would exclude that. So let me know in the comments down below what you think. And if you find this helpful, this was a long explanation, but we have those major steps. You can use also videos to get some insights, but I usually have an idea. I have a little bit of a plan, but the videos help me to fix some small issues that I have or get some little ideas of, oh, okay, I can do it like that. But I don't take the major ideas out of the videos. But if you need more experienced help, you can always go and have a look at least at 3 videos, because 3 videos will help you more to get an overview. Or you can ask friends who are much more experienced in building. I'm not very experienced in building, and I have a lot of Minecraft friends around me that are way better builders than I am, but I'm developing. So thank you for watching so far, and I hope you liked this video. And see you next time. Your Gosifly. Bye bye.